in a working class neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York. And it wasn't a fancy upbringing. We didn't have much, but we had everything that we needed. We had a mom and dad, and I had a little brother, and I had some aunts and uncles, and some cousins, and a couple of friends. And turned out that's all you really need to grow up straight and strong, just loving people around you. But my dad, who I adored, of course, when he heard the news that I was about to be born, made big news back then. It's on the front page of the New York Times. Neil is born. Only 6 people knew about it, and that was about all. But my dad went out and bought himself a movie camera. Nobody else had a movie camera in 1941. Nobody. It was a wind-up camera. Didn't have any electricity back then. I'm kidding, they had electricity. But this was a wind-up camera, a little reel of film. And he started taking pictures from the time that I was born, and of course my brother came along 2 years later when he was born. And it's such a nice, fantastic feeling to look back on those movies now. Of course, there's a couple of my brother and I bathing together when we were little kids, and I'd rather not have to look at those again. But remember that when you take pictures of your kids. Don't get intimate with them, because they'll remember it for the rest of their lives. But my dad took pictures, and I still have them. They tell my story as good as about anything I can imagine. I close my eyes, I can almost hear my mother calling, Neil, go find your brother. Daddy's home, it's time for supper. Hurry on. And I see 2 boys racing up 2 flights of staircase, swerving into Papa's embrace. And his whiskers warm on their face. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? 2 floors above the butcher. First door on the right. Light filled to the brim as I stood by my window and looked out on those Brooklyn roads. I can still recall brothers drying in the doorways, and report cards I was always. The report cards I was always afraid to show. Mama come to school, and I'd sit there softly crying. Teachers say he's just not trying. Got a good head, feet are flying, but you know yourself, it's always somewhere else. I built me a castle with dragons and kings, and I'd ride off with them as I stood by my window and looked out on those Brooklyn roads. All I'd see are strangers' faces and all the scars that love erases. But as my mind walks through those places, I'm wondering what's come of them.